Patrol agents in Laredo, Texas, and during that meeting, Border Patrol agents in Laredo got into a heated back and forth with their boss, U.S. Border Patrol Chief Raul Ortiz. They let him know they're not happy with what's going on, and a Border Patrol source leaked me that video. Take a look.
I've been doing this job as long as y'all.
That's a problem.
What's that?
That's a problem, Chief. For evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing.
I can't hear you.
For evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. That's exactly what's happening here. Good men are doing nothing. You're allowing an illegal agency to harm our communities.
You are doing something.
No, sir, we're not.
Meanwhile, earlier this morning, take a look at this video we shot. In the early morning hours, groups of family units arriving where we are here in La Jolla, Texas, about 100 in total while we were out here. And these were very chilly temperatures. Keep in mind, it's late January out here. It gets very cold in the middle of the night. But still, these migrants make the journey to cross the Rio Grande and enter Texas illegally in those chilly nighttime temperatures. And out here last night also was Oklahoma Republican Senator James Lankford. He was getting a tour of the area by the Border Patrol Union so we can get a first-hand look at what's going on out here. He says Border Patrol agents just aren't allowed to do their jobs right now. Take a listen.
Whether it's single adults that are coming in, whether it's families.
They take their kids because it's like a guarantee to be able to stay. They make them go through these horrible. The children should be taken away from them.
And being instructed by the administration, here's how to process people and release them, rather than to actually try to carry out the law.
You don't know if they're even their kids.
Right.
We've been reporting that these migrants have been showing up at the border from literally all around the world, more than 120 countries. And I've just learned from a DHS source that here in the Rio Grande Valley on Thursday, 5 men from Syria were arrested by Border Patrol agents after they crossed illegally into Hidalgo, Texas, about 20 minutes away from where we are right now. We'll send it back to you.
Bill Milligan, thank you so much for that. The Biden administration, of course, is under fire after this Fox exclusive video showing migrants being released into the United States in the middle of the night. Meanwhile, earlier this week, White House Press Secretary Jen
All of them young men.
had this to say
No
about
women,
ICE moving migrants
no
all over the
children.
country. Listen.
We continue to be under Title 42. Migrants who cannot be expelled under Title 42 are placed into immigration proceedings, and one of those avenues could be placement in an alternative to detention program in the interior of the United States. Sometimes that means moving migrants to other parts
This
of the
one's a
United
moron.
States to move to different detention facilities.
This leaves so many questions. Who's behind this? What happens to those migrants now? The White House is saying they track them with ankle bracelets, but we're not necessarily sure. Let's ask former DHS Acting Secretary and Heritage Foundation visiting fellow Chad Wolf. Chad, good morning to you, and great to see you, sir. So many issues plaguing us at the border right now, and it seems like this is sort of a bottom of the list issue because we have so many other troubles in the United States that we're trying to deal with. But that tape that Bill played was really powerful. The agent pushing back against the chief and essentially saying, we have to do something here, but yet there's this underlying message of doing nothing at the border.
Yeah, the video is quite remarkable. I've never, in my time at DHS, both in the Trump administration and previously, I've never seen anything like that, where Border Patrol agents are pushing back so aggressively on their leadership. And I think what is probably most striking from that video, which is if you can see in the background, the DHS secretary is standing right there. He does not step up. He does not address any of these concerns from the Border Patrol agents. There's no vision. There's no leadership. He just stands to the side because he knows he cannot talk to these agents and defend what is going down on the border because of the policies of this administration. So, look, the agents there are at their wits' end. They don't know what to do, and you're seeing a lot of tape and a lot of video being leaked because I think they want the American people to hear what they're hearing from their leadership, which is, sorry, you can't do your job, and you're going to have to continue to manage a crisis that's now going for 12 months.
Right. It's also interesting is the White House's approach and Jen Psaki's approach on the reports that we've been hearing for the last year that these migrants were being moved around. First, they would say they're patently false. It is not happening. There are no flights. There are no buses taking migrants around the country. Now they're starting to acknowledge that maybe this is happening because we have video of it, and we keep showing that to our viewers. The latest one that we did show was the one of migrants coming in to New York. And, of course, we're talking about the tax and the strain that it puts on the system of these states when you bring migrants over. They're not tracking them. They're not showing up for their court dates. This is just a way to take the more than 2 million people that have come into this country and disperse them across all the different states.
Well, that's right. What the White House press secretary is, she has no idea what she's talking about, frankly. She's reading from a piece of paper, and what she's not telling the American people is we're having to bus and fly these migrants to all parts of the country because the border area, the border region is so overwhelmed by the number of migrants that are coming across that border every single day. They believe they have no other choice than to fly folks and to move folks around to other locations. That is simply not the case. There is another option. There is another strategy here to get the border.
Send them home.
We did it during the Trump administration. It works. They refuse to do it. And so they've gone with this narrative that they have to do this in the dead of night, in the middle of the night. And it's simply not the case. There is another way to secure that border.
Chad, let me ask you this, because at the end of Bill's report, he mentioned 5 men coming over the border from Syria. And I think that's really important because the messaging now has gone far past the countries along the border. It's basically become a global message. If you want to come into the United States and you want to do it illegally, you just go there and come across the border, because we told people don't come, but they're not listening. We said we're going to institute remain in Mexico, but we're not really, pushing back on that. The border is open. That is the subtle message being given.
Well, absolutely, that's the message being given, and we hear a lot from the vice president and others about the root causes of migration. But if you look at the December numbers of illegal apprehensions, only about 30% of those that they're picking up actually come from Central America. So it's great that the vice president's talking about root causes of migration. She's only capturing about 30% of the population coming across that.
All young men.
Over 30% are from countries outside
all young men.
Mexico and
Look at
Central
that.
America. It's a much bigger
Why are they
problem here.
allowing these young, healthy men in this country illegally?
To make hard decisions.
This is a takeover.
Securing that border and doing what you have to do to protect Americans is not easy. You have to make hard decisions. They refuse to make them, and you see this video every single day, and you see Americans across the country shaking their heads saying, what is going on? Why can't we get this under control?
When are Americans going to step up?
To get your insight and perspective, it's something that we're going to continue to monitor as we move forward. Thank you so much. All right. The one thing that